Hey, listen, do you want fresh ground coffee while you're on the road? I've got the perfect answer here on Bean Basics. Oh, hey there. Welcome to Bean Basics with Bob and Michelle. Welcome to sunny Saugatuck, and welcome to the Ovis Lab. Hey, listen, today we're talking about grinding coffee on the road. I mean, there was a point in time where we would bring our little Baratza grinder here, and I say little with a smile because it didn't work out that well. And then there's been many times where we've brought pre-ground coffee with us, and I know a lot of folks are like, ooh, pre-ground, but you know, as long as you're using it in 2 or 3 days, I'm pretty much okay with that. But we also bring a grinder. And I'm just going to grab my travel kit here for you. And this is really a BIGGBY lunch bag that I've converted to a travel kit. And as you know, I always have my Narita coffee kettle. This is how I make cowboy coffee on the road. And I don't think many folks know, but I like to travel with this fellow mug right here. It's all stainless steel, got a real narrow rim, but it will seal down and stay hot for hours and hours and hours.
Which is handy since I usually sleep longer than you do.
That's right. I make your coffee and my coffee at the same time and put yours to the side. But the grinder I like to take is something called the Vessel, VSSL. Right. And not really known a lot in the coffee world because this is really from a camping outfit. And that kind of leads me to the next thing, which this little vessel piece right here, but I'm going to get to that in just a moment. I'm going to put it to the side. You can customize the colors of these, by the way, and I made this one the Ovis blue.
I noticed.
I know you would. All right, you know, when you travel, you can make your coffee in a variety of ways. You know, you can bring your AeroPress or your Kalita filter or your French press or your Melita or your V60, doesn't really matter, right? I don't bother with many of these. That's why I make cowboy coffee straight in here. If I bring something, often I bring my French press. But a grinder should be able to do all those grinds right there. A travel grinder, anyway. I like the Vessel, and the thing to know about, you know, this kind of product promotion that I'm talking about right now is I've got no skin in this game, right? I'm not selling these, and I've never really ranked a dozen travel hand grinders. There's things that catch my eye for some reason or another, and I buy them, and I use them, and then I keep them. And if I like them, I like to share that with you. You know, I do have another travel grinder, and by the way, this is about 150 bucks. This one is too. And they should all be about that same price. This one's made by Time More. And I thought I would like this one more. I still take it with me on travel too. I thought I'd like it more because it has this little snappy handle that snaps out that way. It's got a really cool wooden handle here. And it's really easy to take on and off the top. And I thought all this grid work right here, I don't know if you can get a shot of that, would be really good, you know, like feel good in the hand. But what I found is this one, the grid work, it never mattered to me. It's not like it did a better job for me. But the other thing is the circumference of this was just small enough that my hand, and I don't have big hands, my hand feels like it has to try too hard to hold on to it, right? And so the circumference of this one's just a little bit bigger. Perhaps you can see that right there.
Get that from an angle.
Yeah, and so for whatever reason, this one holds really well in my hand. Now, the Vessel has other features that are similar. In other words, the handle will sort of open up and out, which we like. It's easy to pack away. There's no parts sticking out. And in the chamber, again, is a handle. But the other thing I like is it gives you a little brush. And it seems like something you would lose until you take this on the road for the first time and you realize that you really do want to brush out this whole burr area here on a pretty regular basis. In other words, grounds get caught up in there, and you don't want yesterday's grounds in there getting all mucky. Both of these have burr grinders, and a quality travel grinder would have burr grinders. You know, one of the things to look for are the settings, and I'm going to have you get in close again, babe, but you can see there's some numbers here, and there's a resounding click when you turn these, and you want that kind of click. This has 50 settings, so it's pretty sensitive. You know, the more settings, the more accurate you can be in building your grind. Frankly, I sort of set my grind and then don't worry about it too much upon traveling. This is easy to take off. Also, it has a little push button. When you're looking at the internal mechanics of any grinder, what you're looking for, you know, they say with the vessel that it's aircraft aluminum, and I don't know what that does for you because we're not flying with this thing. But you want this bridge work here and all the casing and everything to be metal. You want it to be durable, and the vessel is. All right, so I'm going to just put this to the side for a moment. One of the reasons why I love this so much is because this company, like I said, is a camping company. And Michelle and I don't go camping. Michelle has forbid that a long time ago. We can walk in the woods and do trails and stuff like that, but we have to end up in a hotel in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And the other thing we do is go to Origin. And but this vessel, this tube here, sort of looks like a flashlight. And in fact, it is. So you can go to their website and just buy a tube with 2 caps on the end of it. But I happen to buy this one with a compass, right? And a lot of times when we're driving around, we're being driven on bumpy roads. We don't really know where we're going, and every once in a while I like to look at this compass and see what's going on. The other thing I find super handy is I bought this instead of just a regular cap with a flashlight. And it has a nice feature that you have to hold it down for like 3 seconds for it to turn on, so it won't turn on accidentally. And then, I mean, it's a strong flashlight. And we've been in a lot of rooms, babe, where
Oh, yeah.
we've needed a flashlight. We didn't want to burn our phones, you know. But this one has several settings, including, I guess this is for mood lighting when we're in those those rooms with no electricity. And then if we ever needed it, it does have an SOS flash. But, you know, I'm not anticipating needing that. But I find it handy. And the thing about it is it has inside these containers, right? And so everything can stay airtight. And so you can see the first container there is actually a little first aid kit, right? And so these can all just sort of come out, slide out, and you can customize these as much as you want. I got most of them out. So that one was a first aid kit, and it has a little antiseptic and that kind of thing. And there's been plenty of times we've been out there and we've gotten cuts or bites or whatever. This is an extra disinfectant. But the other thing I love is you can get these empty containers. And what I do with these is I put coffee in them, right? So, and I pre-measure it before I even go. So I know this is 15 grams here. We're going to go ahead and test that out here for a minute. I'm going to get it on my scale. And, you know, we talked about this grinder being Time War. You know, one of my favorite scales is the Time War. This is a Time War scale. So, 15 grams. I pre-measured it. Let's hope it works, you know, like twice in a row.
Did you tear it out?
I did tear it out.
Okay, good.
And, you know, the trick on that is if you put everything you want on it before you start it, it'll tear out automatically. But I usually forget that.
Yeah.
You know, so thanks for reminding me. And I'm going to pour these beans in, and you can come in for a moment and see that I hit 15.5. I thought I measured out 15. Well, now it went down to 15.3. So
Kind of upside down from here, but you get
yeah,
the
you
idea.
get the idea of it, right? I'm going to take off a few beans. That's okay. Now, the vessel grinder says the hopper, the upper chamber here holds 20 grams, and what I would say is that really depends, right? So if you have a really dark roast, remember the beans will be about the same size, but a darker roast, each bean would be lighter. So I find at the roast degree that BIGGBY Best is, that's about 15 grams that it holds. Now the other thing I like having these little containers here is I can actually turn it onto the grinder, and there's no mess, no muss, no fuss, nothing like that.
You've got 2 stray ones there on the counter.
I know, I took them off because we were at 15.5. See, trying to equalize things, right? So I'm going to go ahead and get some of this stuff back in here, and they just slide right in. But everything, like this will stay, waterproof and airtight and stuff like that. Really nice for when you travel. I gotta say, it's a little exorbitant, right? But I did spend $150 on the grinder, and I got this beautiful little toy for just $79, and I was able to pick whatever color I wanted. All right, so you want to be able to have a grinder that grinds pretty quickly, and that just snaps on like that. And that has to do with surface area of the actual burrs inside the grinder. We've said, yes, these are stainless steel burr grinders. But I'm going to time myself. This is 15 grams. It's enough for a 250 milliliter cup of coffee. That would be basically a standard cup of coffee. So, the first thing when I wake up is I'm like, I better make coffee for Michelle. Because it's the key to my survival, to getting out of that room for that day. And so I like it to be as efficient as possible. I am going to time myself, so I'm going to hit the timer on the scale and start grinding. And you can see, it's a pretty wide turning radius. And the wider it is, the longer this handle would make it easier and easier to grind, right? And there's at some point, you're like, I think Michelle asked me the first time I used the hand grinder, how do you know when you're done? And you know when you're done when you don't hear anything like grinding around anymore, but there's just suddenly no friction, right? You can actually just twirl this thing around, and I'm done. So let me go ahead and hit that. Okay, so that took 32 seconds. Let me go ahead and turn around and show you. That just took 32 seconds to do.
Pretty speedy.
Right. And even though, you just wake up and you're, stumbling around and trying to figure things out, the whole idea of taking that little container out of here, putting it in here, and just sort of hit grind is pretty simple. Okay, so we're going to get our coffee out because I just want to show it to you, show you the evenness of the grind and stuff like that. Let me put that around a little bit, get it in the light. And it's a beautiful grind.
Mm-hmm. And it smells good.
Doesn't it smell good? I love it when it smells good. That's the way coffee works. Okay, so, hey, this is where this comes in handy, because we're done, right? We just ground a cup of coffee. It only took 30 seconds. But there are some threads right here, and we want to get these grinds out of there. Usually I just give this a little tap, and then we have to take our little knob, and I always put this on top to kind of hold it in place so it doesn't jiggle around too much. Screw that up. And this is easier than what I'm showing on camera. We'll twist that down. We'll get it in our little bag. Sometimes I find this bag almost too tight, but then I really appreciate it after I get it in. And there we are. We're all done. That's the Vessel grinder. I love this product. I'm not saying go buy this product. I'm saying this is what we use when we travel, and we love to travel. So, hey, listen, on that note, we want to thank you for watching. We hope you subscribe. We hope you give us a like. If you have any comments, please put them down below, whether they're good or bad. That doesn't really matter to us. And finally, the thing that's most important to us, and that is when you love the world will love you right back.
Hey, thanks for joining us. For future episodes, click the subscribe button. Bean Basics is brought to you by One Big Island in Space.com with 2 G's.